name is Ezeka Luchineo Larry. I'm the group leader for Group 10 EBIL 264 Business Communication Project of Accounting Department, and we are here to talk about employment communication. Employment communication still remains one of the vital activities when securing an employment. This presentation is to take you through the patterns and the structures of employment communication. Now, what is employment communication?
My name is Adifik Pedani Adedoyin. Employee communication refers to the sharing of ideas between the employee and the management of the organization. Effective employee communication is essential for the success of an organization. When the employees are well informed and the processes are smooth, then this shows that the organization has an effective communication process. Employee communication processes and systems provide for two-way communication. The first one goes from the organization to the employee, and the second one goes from the employee to the organization. Thank you very much.
My name is Ogunbi Ayodeji, and here are the importance of employment communication. The first importance of employment communication is that it's a vital part of change management program. The second importance is that commitment to the organization will be enhanced. The third is effective communication generates trust as the organization takes the trouble of explaining what they are doing and why they are doing it. The fourth importance of employment communication is that employers use it as a creative means to attract and retain the best talent. And finally, the fifth and final importance of employment communication is that it's a viable way through which the job seeker persuades the employer to hire him or her by demonstrating that his or her knowledge, expertise, and skills satisfies the job requirement. Thank you.
My name is Alukola Royinlola Abiodun. I'll be speaking on CV. A CV, which stands for Curriculum Vitae, is a document used for applying for jobs. It allows you to summarize your education, skills, and experiences, enabling you to successfully sell your abilities to potential employers. Alongside your CV, employers usually ask for a cover letter. Furthermore, I'll be talking on parts of a CV. There are 5 primary elements that every CV should have, which is contact information, professional statements, employment history, education, and also skills, including certifications from various trainings. Thank you.
My name is Shumoyo Atubosun, and here are the processes of writing a CV. First of all, you have to tailor your CV. You have to look at the company's website and social media accounts. You have to look if they have recently been mentioned in local press and the use of job adverts to make sure that your CV is targeted to the job role and the employer. You also have to make sure your email address sounds professional. If your personal address is inappropriate, you have to create a new account for professional use. Do not lie or exaggerate on your CV or job application. Not only will you demonstrate your dishonesty to a potential buyer, but there are also offenses. It's also an offense under the Constitution. For example, changing your grade from a 2.2 to a 2.1 is a punishable offense under the Constitution of Nigeria. Use active verbs when possible. For example, include words like created, analyze, to present yourself as a person who shows initiative. A good CV doesn't have any spelling or grammar mistakes. Use a spell checker and list a second pair of eyes to check over a document. That is, you could give your CV to someone to check over to see if there are any mistakes of any sort. And lastly, avoid generic or overused phrases such as team player, hardworking, or multitasker. Instead, provide real-life examples that demonstrate all these skills. Thank you.
My name is Bello Amdala, and I'll be talking about a cover letter. A cover letter is usually a one-page document submitted in your job application to introduce you and your professional background to the firm briefly. It is a motivational letter to sell yourself to the firm. It's essential to know that a cover letter is not a CV and not a copy and paste of a CV. Now we move to the structure of a cover letter, which talks about why the firm, why the role or division, and why should you be chosen. Okay, now we move to the steps in writing a cover letter. It basically includes 2 steps, which are the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. The introduction talks about the firm and the division. It writes about the purpose and professional mission. Make sure you mention the name of the organization and title of the position. Also, focus on why you want the company. Then you move to the body. In the body, you make a case for yourself and you sell your abilities. You focus on what you are good at. You include the details of relevant qualification. You reinforce your goals and how they align with the position. You should also know that the body should not be more than 2 or 3 pages. paragraph. Now we move to the conclusion. The conclusion reiterates why you want the job and why you're a good fit for the job. You should also include a statement of thanks, pertinent details about communication and timeframes, and also you should know that a salutation and signature is also essential in writing your cover letter. Thank you.
Good day. My name is Sonny Timothy Adamisola, and I'll be speaking on the styles of writing a cover letter. There are do's and don'ts that you should notice when writing a cover letter. Things that you should do are: one, it should be addressed to an hiring manager. That is, you should not just write it to anybody, it should be to a specific person. Then secondly, it should not be more than 300 words, that is not more than a page. You should try to compose your words. Also, it should be like captivating with some particular paragraph that speaks what you are trying to get to your audience. Also, it should also involve your skills and experiences that you've achieved. Then also, it should be in a professional format, that is, use the expected font you are to use and the expected font size. You should also involve proper grammars and spellings, and make sure you make correct checking of your cover letter before sending it to them. Then you should submit a PDF file of your cover letter, avoiding sending like a Word. The most acceptable type of a cover letter should be in a PDF format. Now, I will be speaking on the don'ts of writing a cover letter. You should avoid writing to whom it may concern. As I said earlier, it should be written to a specific person, like an hiring manager, and not to like dear sir or ma. Write it in a specific way to a specific person. It should not be over 350 words. Compose your words not more than 300 words. Also, avoid putting irrelevant skills, like maybe you went to work in a baking company. Write your relevant skills, qualities, and duties that you've done before. Also, your font size should not be below 11. The expected font size are 11-12. And avoid grammatical errors when writing your cover letters. Submitting a doc file is also a wrong way of writing a cover letter. It should be in a PDF format. Writing your address. Of course, address is important, but no one really requires your address in writing a cover letter. Avoid irrelevant stuff in your cover letter. Thank you.
My name is Dadaolu Atobiloba, and I'm here to talk on following up on a job application. Now, following up on business application is crucial in order to stand out from other applicants. Here are 10 techniques you can use effectively to follow up on a business application. Firstly, the applicant has to send a thank you email. Also, you have to create a LinkedIn account for the company. Thirdly, you have to call and email the company's HR department to show your enthusiasm for the business. Set up a meeting with the organization. Also, follow up with a handwritten note that you are interested in the business. Be patient and wait for the call of the manager. Thirdly, keep your resume up to date. Send additional materials. Network with members of the organization. Stay positive. Thank you.
Good day all, I'm Chukodi Anthony Owanchumba, and I'm going to take you through the techniques for submitting and following up on job application. Applying for a job is a very important step in the recruitment process, as it explains to the employer about the relevant skills you possess in relation to the job opening. Various techniques adopted to submitting an application letter include submission via emails, job recruitment portal, and hard copy files. The above listed method has some guiding principles which are further explained below. So now I'll be explaining submission via emails. This method involves sending your valid job application credentials to the email address as specified by the hiring company in their recruitment offer. Typical email job application attachments include your resume, your cover letter, as well as your portfolio samples, such as those projects that you've worked on, or an illustration of the project you've worked on. Number 2 on the list of techniques for submitting job application includes the job recruitment portals. In the event of job openings, the hirer may specify that recruitment should be done via some specific portals. Okay? In today's modern world, certain recruitment systems are adopted by advanced organizations, such as the Applicant Tracking System, acronymed ATS, and CRM, which stands for Candidate Relationship Management. Then others include the Google Form and other recruitment portals. So among the application via job recruitment portal, number 1 on the list of the advanced techniques which hiring managers adopt in today's world is the Applicant Tracking System. The vast majority of online job applications first go through an applicant tracking system. Sometimes it's called resume scanner. This system, how it works is that it will compare those those submitted CVs or resumes in relation to the job opening requirements as specified by the hiring manager. Okay, those that doesn't match, they will eliminate them, but those that matches the requirements as specified by the job, they are going to consider them and forward the information to the hiring manager, that is the recruitment officer, for further review. Other techniques for submission of job application via job recruitment portal are the candidate relationship management. The difference between the candidate relationship management and the applicant tracking system is that candidate relationship management help the organization to source for qualified candidates in relation to the job openings. So it does this by comparing those credentials upload on their LinkedIn page, scans through their profile, their employment profile, and relate it to the job opening. Whichever matches the requirements of the job, they forward the information to the human resource department of the organization for further review. Others include the online form. This is the most commonly used method via online portals. Finally, submission via hard copy folders. Under this technique, the role seeker submits the application/resume in printed/hard copy form to the designated address. Okay. In today's world, it is rarely used because this method has become more archaic. Thank you.
The interview. The success of any company depends on its employees. That is why employers seek the best candidates to fill available positions. Therefore, interviews are conducted by the interviewers to assess the confidence and also know if you're right for the position. So if you're given an opportunity for an interview, you must gain the interviewer's confidence and give yourself the best chance to get the position. Interviews can be done physically, via telephone, or via video conferencing. Types of interview. There are two types of interview: competency-based interview and traditional interview. The competency-based interview, otherwise known as structural interview or situational interview, in which the questions are designed to help candidates give evidence of their personal experiences or personal qualities which are needed to perform well in the available job. You'll be expected to give an example of how you have demonstrated these qualities in the past. To reply to questions such as describing a situation where you had to show leadership qualities or initiative, and so on. Traditional interview. This is more like a conversation, but a conversation with a purpose. It is up to the job aspirant to show that he or she is the right person for the job. The interview will probably ask relevant questions around the application form or CV. The interviewer may focus on relevant questions such as vacation jobs or projects.
Good afternoon. My name is Oshalusi Tomwa Israel, and I'm here to discuss with you the basic steps for success during, before, and after an interview. Let's start from before an interview. Firstly, the most important part is to make a research on the company you are interviewing for. Secondly, you have to make a research on the interviewer's profile. Then you evaluate the job description. When you analyze the job description, you outline the list of knowledges. You make an outline for the things you need for the interview. Moving on to the basic steps for success during an interview. Firstly, you have to question the interviewer about the company, the position, and the culture you are applying for. Then, at the end of the interview, you show appreciation to the interviewer for his time and his listening. These are the basic tips needed after the interview. Whether you are offered the job or not, always try to get feedback about your interview. It will boost your confidence if you are offered the job, and if you were not, you must learn something new about yourself or interview techniques that will be helpful in future for whether your next interview. Thank you.
In conclusion of employment communication, it is undisputable that employment communication is one of the vital activities in securing employment. Thank you.